Hey everybody! Welcome back to another Line Plays Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Interesting run, last run, a run that was novel, but I'm excited to be rid of it. XBTV JNTA, pretty abysmal starting stats. I'll be the first to tell you that. Pretty abysmal starting items, although I do like Swallowed Penny. We can find context to make Swallowed Penny work. We can find context to make Converter amazingly useful for us in the early game here. But it's not amazing to begin with. So we got our work cut out for us here to start with only 2 HP. Pretty bad starting stats apart from that, and not a whole lot of support from our remaining items. Could you please just stop could you please stop summoning bombs? You know, could you please stop summoning bombs? Hierophant, that's really useful. So we can effectively get to 2 HP. I think it makes sense to cash in on that early. Having 1 Spirit Heart is really important. You know, what did Kanye West and T-Pain say? Having Spirit Heart, saying everything, not having a miss. We don't really care about having 3 Spirit Hearts. 1 does the job for now. So, you know what? Epiphora is totally fine. It's a ramshackle way for us to up our DPS if we always make sure to shoot in the same direction. Admittedly, that's going to be a little situational, but the good thing is we actually, via Ouija board, we might be able to justify shooting in the same direction a little bit more frequently, and Epiphora can really start to pop off if you manage to shoot with it in succession, like, over and over here. As you can see, like, we got a pretty good set going. Eventually, we're going to have to switch, but you know, you can see how on long rooms in particular, this might be useful. But for now, oh, it does. I was just checking to see if it restarts every room, and it looks like it does, which is a bummer. But still, I think we can at least be a little pleased with the items that we've gotten on this floor. Effectively, we've already gotten 1 HP upgrade, and it's not inconceivable that we could get another one. All we need is, you know, a bomb and a tinted rock, and that pretty much sets us up. We didn't even get a, ooh, that was really bad. We didn't even get a tinted rock to start with. We started with the Hierophant. So every Hierophant is effectively a health upgrade, at least for now. Or it could be the Hierophant if we'd rather keep it that way. But let's not worry about that too much just yet. We also were kind of stuck with Epiphora, unless I wanted to use bombs or money, neither of which we have access to right now, except the 2 cents we just got. And Ragman is not an easy fight early on, but the good news is he doesn't really... Oh, I shot in a different dang direction. He doesn't really rush us down, so I may be lucky enough to be able to shoot in the same direction over and over. But I'm worried that by doing this and focusing on this, I'm focusing on something that's only, like, secondarily important and not focusing on the actual things that are important, which is not dying. I'm noticing that we've done, like, effectively 0 damage to Ragman, and we've been hit twice. So let's try to knock that out instead. Not having a bomb to fight Ragman is actually like a turbo bummer here. You should be dead soon. Once you're dead, we got a nice rate of fire. This is where we start to clean up, at least temporarily. Now let's start doing it in the other direction. We'll just repeat that exact scenario again. I think I will use a key to get a golden chest up there, by the way. I think that's possibly the smarter idea than saving it for the item room. For a couple of reasons. One is we might be able to get to the item room via a key regardless, or, you know, 2 bombs into a secret room combo or something like that. And a golden chest could give us value now, and it's kind of value that I'm eager to get. But we'll have to see if that comes to fruition. I really don't want to do things this way. Please give me a damage or DPS upgrade. I'm begging you. The HP's fine. We can make the HP work either way. It's everything else that's suffering right now. Oh, Lord. Okay, don't walk into him. Do you have to give me 2 starts of this magnitude in a row? We're gonna get red hearts at some point. We'll probably be safe on HP, but just, like, hook me up here. Toothpicks is ideal. I'm happy with that. Really poor Ragman fight, but I mean, I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that these have been, like, historically bad DPS starts here. Even with Epiphora, you know, it gives us a slight edge, but very, very little. Maybe I'm losing my edge. The kids are coming up from behind. You know, LCD sound system? Yeah, everyone knows LCD sound system now. Alright. Secret room is in a fairly obvious location. 2 spirit hearts and full red hearts. I'm very pleased with this. I kind of want to use converter right away, but I think it's probably the less good outcome. But I'll tell you what, rather than go after the chance for a blood bank on the next floor, I'd much rather just buy a spirit heart if possible, which there isn't. I'd much rather buy that then. And I was hoping it would be a joker or, you know, 2 of spades, but either way, 2 of hearts could hold value for us, just not in the way that I was hoping. I was hoping to get a spirit heart and then use that spirit heart to give us a little bit of a buffer while we converted our other 2 spirit hearts, but that's okay. We still have 2. That means we can go to the curse room without feeling weird about it, like it's inhibiting us too much. At least, you know, toothpicks is a great upgrade. I think petrified poop is better than swallowed penny right now. Swallowed penny would have been better if we could have assured ourselves a blood bank, which we could have incentivized or at least increased the chance of, but I'm less concerned about that, honestly. Oh, that was the worst dodge of all time. Actually, the worst dodge of all time was actually the 1992 Dodge Neon. Why always the Neon? Well, my dad used to own a Dodge Neon, and I remember he did not like it very much. I'm not trying to insult... Not Dodge Neon, sorry, it was a Dodge Shadow. Either way, I'm not trying to insult the, you know, venerable Dodge brand. I'm just talking from personal, you know, anecdotal personal experience. It's a fitting point of derision. I still remember the smell of that car. It didn't smell bad, it just smelled car-like. I don't know, this is like the world's worst, like, film noir dialogue. The car smelled particularly automotive on that day. A day just like any other. A Friday, when a dame who smelled like a 1992 Dodge Shadow walked into my office. Just when I thought I was out of the trouble districts, the trouble comes to me. I don't know. Something like that, calm mockery style off the top of the dome piece. Oh, my kingdom for a run that is actually, like, competitive with respect to the damage outcome. Alright, there's more HP. I actually shouldn't complain, because as bad as the DPS is right now, first off, it's probably annoying people to just complain over and over about it. Secondly, the converter gives us a nice bit of leverage that we can use for ourselves. Wow, that's really good. That we can use for ourselves in order to get a bunch of HP, and most of the time you can parlay that HP into more DPS via a deal with the devil deal. So, a deal with the devil deal. You know, you've heard of them. A deal with the devil deal. Ain't nothing more to it than that. With 23 cents, I've given up the dream of boss rush, and now I just dream of a shopping spree. 3 keys especially makes that very likely to come to fruition. I would love, like... I'd love blue candle, red candle, if you let me cash out. BFF actually gives us all sorts of cool opportunities in the future as well. That means if we fight, like, famine here, I'm going to be thrilled. I'm going to be extremely happy to do so. I think in a rare sort of twist of fate, I am actually going to go fight the boss after we go to our item room. I'm not confident in our ability to not get hit twice here. Not just because I've been playing badly the first 2 floors, but because, maybe... heard of it, but not the biggest fan of our DPS. I'm trying to avoid the whole broken record thing, but with 1 bomb, we cannot really expect to get into our secret room. Well, we can get into it, we just can't. We can check out any time. We can never leave. I think this is worth going for broke. So Mr. Mega's fine. You know what? I'll take Libra. And the reason I take Libra is because Libra is a fun item. It also gives us a little of every consumable. So now I can check this. And I can even donate a key just to be a nice guy. It totally wasn't an accident. It was me being a nice guy. I also feel that with Libra combined with Epiphora, that means as the longer we shoot in the same direction, the more of an all stats upgrade we get. I mean, you can see my tiers growing in size. So this is actually a synergy that I can get behind and feel good about. I really feel like we're actually getting quite strong by the end of this room. Not ridiculously so, but, I mean, I feel like we killed that, the final gurglings in like 3 hits. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm giving up the shot at, an extra conversion here in order to check out the curse room. You know, your mileage may vary on how you feel about that one, but I'm okay with it. And we're in exactly the same position, but now we have Epiphora, you know, combined with some weird Libra all-statsness helping us out here. It's a zany choice, but it's a choice I stand by as being surprisingly responsible as well. We just have to keep an eye on it, because if we mindlessly kind of, like, shoot in another direction, then we've cost ourselves an all-stats upgrade temporarily. Which is probably not the end of the world, but certainly not something we want to be, like, making a habit out of. We just get him to, like, shoot there, and then we take the shot here. Look at how much damage we're doing by the end of that. That's really good. Placenta's more HP. This is a tough call. I think you go for the Guppy Dream. And you know what? I think you go Satanic Bible. And if we're going Satanic Bible, why don't we, like, quintuple up and go Cambion Conception as well? So I'm looking for battery charges. I'm looking for Spirit Hearts. And I think this is a sensible decision, in spite of the fact that it might be painted as a little bit reckless. We got the Guppy Bead. We gotta, you know, the more damage we take, the more we get closer to getting a Demonic Familiar. And, of course, we got the, you know, A-tier spacebar item. Maybe even an S-tier spacebar item. Might be the best book in the game. Certainly up there. Dude, the all-stats upgrade, the power is ridiculous. We're still not going to make boss rush, but if we did, I think we would have, like, a genuine chance, assuming our run is, like, competitive by the time we get up there, we'd have a genuine chance of, like, wanting to do boss rush. Just kind of try to deke these guys out. I really like this, actually, because it requires a completely different style of play than you would otherwise ever have reason to use. That was terrible damage on my part. It's just a super novel style of Isaac that most of the time you would have... You'd never have even, not just the inclination, but you'd never have the opportunity to do it. Instead, we're like, okay, it's like a challenge run that we built ourselves. We'll give you decent stats, but you lose those stats temporarily if you shoot in, you know, if you change the direction of your shot. Speaking of which, why don't we change the direction of our dodging so that we stop getting hit so much like a freaking idiot. I'm not turning direction yet. We got the all stats upgrade. We're instinct. Come on, dude. Presumably, we are hitting the cap for stats at some point. I don't know when it is, though. Oh, dude. I think we take Forget Me Now. I'll be real with you. I'm hip. I'm with it. And for those of you saying it was a mistake to take Satanic Bible, I still disagree. Lockdown kind of sucks, though. I still disagree, and I disagree because I think that I'd rather have lived and laughed than never lived at all, and Satanic Bible has given us the opportunity to live a little bit more robustly than we otherwise would have been able to, but we do need to stop taking needless damage, for sure. So I'm assuming there's a decent chance for there to be a battery charge in our shop, which is why I'm trying to build up a battery charge first, and then we grab this, and we come in here, and we see what you got, and you do okay. I think I'm gonna go Forget Me Now, in spite of the fact that, you know, Diplopia is fun as well. We had Diplopia recently. It's maybe getting into, like, you know, oh my god, tears downgrade. You're using it so much that it's becoming, you know, a little old hat at this point. I don't want Diplopia to lose its luster. Forget Me Now is always a welcome treat, I think. This run still sucks, by the way. Maybe you thought we got ourselves out of the woods with that all stats up Epiphora nonsense. We did, in some ways. Like, if you ignore the first 10 seconds of any room, we're doing pretty sweet. You'd come in here and be like, those stats look above average. And you'd probably be right. But the first 10 seconds of any room are just a dodging nightmare. And it's surprisingly, you know... Oh, that was so bad. It's surprisingly inhibiting to not be able to change the direction of your shot. Maybe we should just ignore it and willfully change the direction of our shots. I don't know. Almost dodged right into that. Got very lucky the shot was way slower than I expected. Okay, this is really good. Starting to learn, you know, maybe we'll just take the Epiphora bonus when we can. Not worry about it apart from that. I'd still like to get one more Satanic Bible charge on this floor, and Ideally, like, take no damage here, get some HP, and then go to a deal with the devil. And if that deal with the devil's Krampus, maybe that's awesome for us. Probably should have been hit there as well. Right, with Chaos, we can get anything. So we got Bob's Rotten Head, which is pretty horrible. And then Fanny Pack for 3 Spirit Hearts, which we could live. We could live if we take it. I would advise against it, though. Because it's not, well, I mean, I was going to say it's not a good item. It's just not good at that cost. There are some situations in which I'd be like, yeah, man, Fanny Pack. If I had 12 Spirit Hearts, I would probably take Fanny Pack for 3. This is like, I'm not even saying we're in the start of a new streak or anything. It's way too early for that, but if this ends up becoming a streak, we will look back on these early runs and be like, what the hell? Okay, don't ever speak to me or my run ever again. I deserve to go down to a next floor, inhibited by my own play here. This is going to be a long one. And that's alright. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that one, ha ha ha, I worked at a water slide manufacturer. Doesn't even make any dang sense. Yes, we will open this. I suppose what we could have done is just shot like 100 times and then opened it, but maybe Epiphora doesn't work until enemies are on screen. I don't know. So we got Guppy's Paw, by the way. That's not something to just be glossed over, because Guppy's Paw is, oh my god, it reset everything. Guppy's Paw is a win condition for us. You know, it takes us closer to becoming Guppy, which is a, something that probably guarantees us the win, more or less. We've probably lost Guppy runs in the past, but it hasn't been very recently, that's for sure. By the way, if you're not familiar with it, and you may not be, because it's an item that, while it shows up, you know, with the frequency that you would expect probably any item to show up with, it's not talked about as a dominating factor all that much. Epiphora increases your rate of fire the longer you shoot in the same direction, like with the cardinal directions here, up, down, left, right. But because we have Libra, Libra always balances all of your stats so they're equivalent to one another. So effectively, as our rate of fire goes up thanks to Epiphora, all of our stats go up thanks to Epiphora. Which means that, you know, it's a blessing and a curse, obviously. I wonder if that means our luck stat goes up thanks to Epiphora. I don't know. If that's the case, then we should have a huge chance for, you know, payouts at the end of every room, regardless of any luck downgrades. But it's a really unique combination. That's what I'll say about it on the positive side. Oh, we've done it. Just a little bit of a lucky deke in there, and they body blocked one another. And I probably reaped the benefit of all stats by now. Okay, we got 4 cents, not really enough. Probably should have taken Swallowed Penny when we left the second floor. Alright, that was good Isaac sense right there. Now, you do have 13 bombs. I think we should not be afraid to drop a bomb now and then. Not in terms of, like, you know, foreign policy. Just in terms of, you know, literal Isaac consumables. Seems very sensible to me. And the longer we can fly under the radar here, the better it is. I knew it. I knew I was going to mess that one up. I was like, is that the one of the ones that's left on 1 HP? How would I know? How would I remember that? We did get a Gimpy payout, though, so no harm, no foul. We're at 18 minutes on Flooded Caves 1. Again, anytime you hear me bitching about a run and it's like, it's going real fast, feel free to just be like, oh, NL's being a little bitch. Anytime you hear me bitching about DPS and it's, you know, 17 minutes into the run and we're on the 3rd floor, by design. I mean, we did obviously choose to redo one of the floors, but still, you should be like, you know what? This dude still sounds like a whiny piece of garbage, but maybe he's got a point. Hey, that whiny piece of garbage has a name, okay? I may have just screwed myself out of a an easy deal with the devil chance. I think that missed, unfortunately. Good. Okay. That's like the ideal attack, but I keep changing direction because this guy, you know, he pops up in semi-unusual locations from time to time. Like that one. How am I supposed to hit him if I'm just constantly shooting to the right? Ooh, okay. Good stuff. We got HP. Dude, none of these are worth it. These are clearly not worth it. I'm not taking your deal. That's the problem with chaos, man. You know? It's good. It's probably better for free items than it is for paid items. But speaking of which, we should go into our shop and just see. Because if there's... That's pretty much exactly what I was getting at. If we can become Guppy on our shop, we should. So let's do that, is my suggestion. Now we're Guppy. We have probably just won the run. I seem like a whiny bitch. Let's go win. And we absolutely deserve it on this one. Some runs I don't deserve it. This one, we deserve it. Baby, you deserve it. Okay, I'm not... People said they got annoyed by that. I'm gonna stop. Makes sense. I don't even know the name of the damn song. It's probably called Baby You're Worth It, is my guess. But who knows with the kids these days and their Ariana Grandes and their Areola Picantes and their et ceteras, et ceteras. We're gonna go pretty hard on this. I'd rather not do it until death. But at half of a red heart, I'll just create some spirit hearts. I'm trying to get KB Conception to pay out, and it did. And it paid out in a big way. We got Blue Map. We got Little Brim with BFF, I might add. But we have Blue Map from the Demon Judgment as well, which is a relatively solid haul. Now, I don't harbor any chance to go to Boss Rush here. But I still think that we have... like, improved our run ridiculously in a very short span of time. Getting 2 Guppy items so quickly is very, very helpful. It's been a while since we actually completed the full Guppy transformation, I think. And, Trinity Shield is at least interesting. But that playback there definitely helps solidify this run. Like, that Demon Judgment Gambit worked out. Little Brim is probably, like, instantly gonna become our best damage dealer. And Chaos, it didn't really pay for itself because we spent, like, you know, our hard-earned money. The money that we mined from weeks and weeks of poop farming. We spent it on 9 lives, but still. You know, it had to show up in the first place. Access is important sometimes. No money out of that, huh? Well, it's nice to know who your true friends are. Real pain for my sham friends and sham pain for my real friends. Tears up. That's good. Remember, any stat up is an all stats up except HP. Yeah, HP doesn't count. Any stat down is an all stats down. So I am always thrilled to get all stat upgrades. Especially with Libra. Especially when our stats are not that good. Our run is great as a result of the Gup action right now, but Pandora's Box. Over Guppy's Paw? Yeah. We'll take it. Because we can use Pandora's Box on the Cathedral to get a free deal with the Angel item. Which I think is the right play there. Of course, we can use it right now and get a free double boss item. Like, we can get 2 boss items, I think. It's tempting. But not as tempting as a free, basically, deal with the devil item. Because if we could add, like, Sacred Heart to this run, that would be incredible. In the meantime, though, I'm just going to enjoy the fact that it seems like some of these... Oh, you know what? The flies blend in with the ground. I was like, some of these dingles look like they're exploding without even being touched. That might be the Benadryl as well, but... You know, that's a high-octane Friday night for me now. Is get, you know, hopped up on the doctor's recommended dose of Benadryl because you're feeling slightly under the weather. You know what? I like Black Feather. Even though I don't think we have anything that takes advantage of it right now, I like that latent potential. That the more evil ups we get, the more damage we get. Which means that the more evil ups we get, the more all stats we get. And Lump of Coal's pretty dope. Does this mean the further a shot travels, the more all stats we have upgraded? I honestly think it probably does, but it's likely to be relatively imperceptible. Imperceivable? I think it's imperceptible. You might be able to use both. That's why English is stupid. You know, in programming, you can write it 2 different ways and it'll still work, because that's the rules of the language. But in English, oh, you said this thing I completely understand the meaning of, but you didn't say it the way I'm used to, and as a result, I'm gonna make fun of you. It's just... It's needless, is what I say. It's needless stratification of the populace. Grammar-based discrimination. And this is coming from somebody who got top-of-the-class marks in spelling. That's how you know it's legit. Can you believe, like, there used to be jobs as, like, a spelling teacher? By the way, I'm not saying it's useless. Baby, it's useless. No, but, like, 40 years ago, you could be like, oh, hey, Janice, what's your job? I'm a spelling teacher. If I talk to somebody who is a spelling teacher now, if somebody told me their job was a spelling teacher, I would be like, holy fuck. Tell me everything. It's like, it's more exciting than meeting an astronaut. How do you still have a job? You must be an amazing spelling teacher. Like, what part of the curriculum these days with the iPads and the Spotifys and the Tinders goes to spelling? Does the school even buy dictionaries anymore? You can just get it all online. It's crazy, man. I would love to know. And please, by the way, don't take this as me denigrating the wonderful profession of spelling, right? Like, I get it. You don't choose what you're good at. You just get employed with it. I mean, you're talking to a guy who's playing video games here. So, by all means, don't let me talk without any shred of self-awareness and be like, wow, that's a weird job. Spelling teacher. Teaching someone a useful life skill that is now automated by computers. I crack jokes about your profession over a microphone on the internet in front of like 30,000 people. Totally normal. This is the new normal. But it's wild, man. I would love to know. There's probably someone. I bet it's like, you know, well, I'm not technically a spelling teacher. I'm like a 3rd grade teacher, but we teach spelling. That's acceptable, I think, for sure. You know, kids have still got to know how to spell. You got to spell the right emails to at least know which word. Like, you don't have to spell perfectly, because spell check will probably hook you up for the most part. But you need to know how to spell well enough to know what word you're actually trying to find when spell check goes, hey, dummy, what are you looking for here? And you go, oh, definitely, defiantly, you know, that's the issue. You got to at least be able to spell well enough to operate spell check, which probably requires, like, a 6th grade education on average. But, you know, don't let me push my values on you. Some people not good at spelling. Amazing surgeons. Not throwing any names out there. I mean, mostly because I don't know any surgeons except Dr. Benjamin Carson. And how could I offer a single word of ill will towards the greatest man this country's ever seen? Okay. Blue map. We're going to... Well, we're on Necropolis 2. Okay, I was starting to feel like we're getting a little grindy here. We're on Necropolis 2. That gives me hope. Not hope that, you know, we're not going to die, because I don't expect us to die now that we're Guppy anyway, but hope that I'm not going to be here until 2 in the morning finishing a 60-minute long guaranteed win in Isaac, which is, I think, a negative thing if we have to do that, so... we're going to look for all the special rooms. Like, there's still incentive for us to do that, in my opinion. Come on, dude, with the nonsense and the you're dead. We're going to look for all the special rooms. A blood bank would be awesome. You know, get some more Cambion conception action. An incubus or succubus would be sweet here. I don't mean to complain, but our, you know, room starting DPS is kind of shitty still. Like, I enter a room and it takes me a little while to start doing damage. I gotta admit, tempted by the fruit of another here. Shoop de whoop. Versus Pandora's box. It's like, give me something that benefits me now and later instead of possibly benefiting me later. But I like to roll the dice. We'll take Black Lotus because it never shows up, and then we'll wedge ourselves back here for an easy donation. Hopefully we can get to 500. If not, that's okay, but either way, the game has been very kind to us, and I would like to pay that forward to our donation machine if it would be so kind as to accept as much of my money as it deems fit. And if it goes to, you know, however high it wants to, that's fine by me. 512, 513. I'll accept it. You know, I'll be happy for it because that saves me donating in the future. That's like the worst possible outcome is to stop 3 cents short. But you know what? I'm not mad. Little miffed, not mad. Bunch of red hearts. I will go to our item room. It might seem like overkill at this point, but, you know, it's chaos. What's the point of getting chaos if we're like, oh, that's the last item we need? Let's just go. Now, it's dangerous to say that because I've probably done that in the past, but... Mom's wig, by the way, working out real nicely for us. I mean, when I picked it up, I was kind of like, you know, Mom's wig. But now I'm like, it's generating more spiders than I would expect. Like, it's almost generating as many as I would expect to get from Infestation. which is, you know, more than most of the time you're going to get from a mom's wig. But I can't articulate why we're getting so many. Maybe as our rate of fire goes up, the human brain is not good at dealing with, like, you know, squared functions or something like that. So it sends an error message. I don't know. It sends an unchecked exception to the... You get the idea. Pseudo-intellectual nonsense babble. That you laugh at if you understand the joke because we recognize the shared pattern. Okay, grab that. Still totally fine on HP. We're gonna get to boss rush at about the time, or we're gonna get to the mom fight at about the time you'd normally get to the hush fight, so that should answer the question of, you know, whether or not either of those is happening. Dude, totally worth it. Black Candle was a great reward here for walking around. Not only the single black card, but I'll definitely take the lack of curses for the rest of the run as well. And now I'm like, okay, we're like actually set. That being said, a traditionally good deal with the devil wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. If you would be so kind as to, you know, maybe give me like a little death's touch action, shall we say? I'll settle for 2 syringes, 3 syringes. Ooh, my little pretty one, when you gonna give me my syringes? I would like to get so spun. And get so spun. Give me +2 damage with when I have Libra. doesn't really work, but you know, maybe I haven't gotten the knack for it yet. All right, we're done. We got to deal with the devil. We got the Polaroid. Oh, these are pretty good deals. Take the Pact. We'll take a Thame, and we'll head down to the next floor, as we so often do. I wish we had, like, full mapping. Like, half map, full map consequences, but presently, you know, you can't always get what you want. We're obviously going to hold Yera. At this point, like, with full health, nearly full health, decent amounts of all consumables, like, at least functional, and a rune that we want to hold, I'm not even motivated to open, or, like, even see what's inside of these tarot cards. Like, the value of them is valueless to me. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. And let me handle my business, Dan. Isaac's head does not matter either. 1-up's kind of interesting. This item shows up so rarely that my first instinct whenever I see 1-up is to be like, what's up with that magic mush? That magic mush has a weird tint to it. But, weird tint or otherwise, that's like our 11th life on this run. With a question mark attached to it as well. It's a big one. Give me the item you're going to give me, but then give me a deal with the devil. Fantastic. Tammy's head. I love it. Abel. You know what? I think we can afford to take Abel. That's how confident I am. Is like, yeah, give me BFF Abel. That's the ticket right now. And again, we could have gone a little bit more brazen and taken, I don't know why that was accidental Christopher Walken. We could have gone a little more brazen and taken... No, it's not really like a good Walken. I've never had a good Christopher Walken. Or even like a decent one. Anywhere. But he's doing his own impression of himself these days. Either way. What was I even talking about? I don't want to get rid of Pandora's Box. At this point, I feel like, you know, the run's nearly signed, sealed, delivered. The best thing that we could do is throw in a little bit of extra, like, you know, gambling. Just to amp up the tension a little bit. And the gambling that we have right now is, you know, is he going to get an awesome item or is he going to get a terrible item? I guess, literally, I should have used Pandora's Box way earlier, now that I think about it, because Pandora's Box with Chaos means that instead of getting an angel item, if I'm interpreting the way that this works out properly, we may actually just get a random item, at which case we definitely would have been better off having the choice of 2 random items instead of just the one that we're going to get. But... you know, maybe I'm incorrect about that. Maybe we actually are going to get an angel item. Either way, I mean, it's looking pretty good. I'm not going to keep myself up at night. Unless we lose it, in which case maybe I will keep myself up. But I don't think that's going to happen. And we'll probably open that. We got Yaris. We got 8 items coming on the chest as well. And those 8 items could be anything. They probably won't be anything. Like, if I had to guess, I'd imagine they'd probably be something. I find that, you know, a chest can be anything, but then when you open it up, it becomes something, which is positive because, I mean, while anything could be anything, The only reason anything is worth anything is because it may eventually be something. I think. Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed. It lives should not be a challenge for us. I mean, you can tell right now, this is not the fastest run we've ever had. It's a cool synergy. It reminds me a lot of the last run, actually, where the run, you know, if you look at it from a tail of the tape, like, statistical level, there's something about it that, you know, is not that good. But, when you watch it, you're like, it's just charming. It's like George Mason 2006, March Madness. You're like, you know what? It's not my alma mater, but I gotta cheer for them. They're the underdog, and they got spirit. And that's kind of what's going on here. You gotta cheer for this one over a run that's more powerful, just because this one's novel and it's weird. Oh, right, Pandora's Box. We will use that right after we finish this room. Guy's real fast. I think the body... I'm not gonna take it, because I like the permanent Polaroid invincibility in this situation, but I think the body is an angel item. Shows what I know. I mean, it's obviously in keeping with, like, a religious theme. I'm just not sure if it specifically is an angel item, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it probably is. But that's dangerous line of reasoning. I need a larger sample size to be 100% sure. Or to be 95% sure, you know, within my confidence intervals. Alrighty. It's going real well. Isaac is one of those bosses we may actually have a great chance to shoot always in the same direction against, because he always comes down at, like, weird intervals. Weird positions, I should say. Not this time, though. Oh, he was so close. We'll head down to the chest. We're going to use Yera. Don't forget about Yera. I always forget about Yera on the stream. But luckily, that's because, you know, I'm in some heated commentary, and for right now, I'm just talking about random nonsense, so that's irrelevant. We got HP anyway, because I'm an idiot. We'll use Yera. Just get a little aggregate of the items here. Guppy's head is a great spacebar item to roll with. Cricket's head is awesome. Glitter bombs is good. Lost Fly is at least okay. Halo of Flies might give us Beelzebub. We're one away from Beelzebub then. We also got some ridiculous bomb synergies. Why not take Mr. Boom in this situation? Because, you know, we have good bomb synergies. We might as well take advantage of them. Is Guppy's head a better item? Yeah, but we're going to use Guppy's head in all sorts of situations. Let's take advantage of a little bit of a weird item we don't get to see as much. You know, every item deserves its day in this case. Ooh, blank card. Would have been nice to know that that was en route before I used the Yera rune, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Save me from myself to some extent. Remember, you're not immune to explosions just because you got cool bomb synergies. I thought I heard a chest open, but it must have just been the doors. Not the doors opening, but actually, like, the doors. That, you know, Jim Morrison's alive, as we all know, and he's actually playing Lover Madly next to our apartment right now. I don't know why he chose Vancouver to fake his own death in. Well, I mean, it is a beautiful city, and assuming he's living off of, you know, royalties from the sales of his records and the licensing of his music, I'm sure he could make a great life for himself here, maybe even purchase some property. I don't really want to go that way. I guess I don't care if I get some extra HP at this point. First off, we haven't been hit on the whole floor. Secondly, we're going to win anyway. Thirdly, make her open the box, and that's the way you do it. It's your dick in a box. We got a bomb that was on fire out of the glitter bombs. I was confused greatly for a moment there. Black powder's fine, and we've got the speed to take advantage of it. Sure, okay, this is a win, and it's a fun win. I had a good time with it. I hope you did as well. I love Libra synergies, and we get them, like, only so rarely. I'm not saying I wish we got them more often, because there's something about, you know, them being special when they show up, but weird run. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future, but for now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.